Next one out is Jenny Jordal with the graphic novel What Happened to You, represented by Cappelen Damm Agency.
Hi, my name is Jenny Jordal and I'm an author, illustrator and comic artist. And I'm here to talk to you about my graphic novel Hva skjedde egentlig med deg? Or What Happened to You? And What Happened to You is a story about being a young girl in a very grown-up world. And it's about living with eating disorders. But it's also the story about losing friends and making new ones, and a little bit about computer games. So, in the story, you meet Janne. And Janne isn't like the rest of her family. People keep on telling her that. So, while Janne's family, they're slim, Janne is big. Too big, people say. So what happened to her? All that Janne wants is to be invisible, but everybody still notices her, especially the bullies at school, and they keep on picking on her for her looks, and they never ever leave her alone. And Janne uses food to comfort herself and to hide from her emotions. And eventually she starts to hide from people as well, pushing them away. But she can't hide from her parents, and they desperately want to help her, but it's hard for them to look past Janne's weight and see the real problem behind it. So in a way, Janne is overshadowed by her own body. Through Janne's story, I wanted to show how difficult it can be for both children and for parents to navigate in a society where looks and appearances and body often seem more important than people. And I really hope that this book can bring some comfort to children in the same situation as Janne. But I also think that other people can relate to and learn from both Janne and her parents. So I hope that this book and the story reaches the children and the adults that need it.
We then go to Guldraiz Sharif with the book Listen Up, represented by Cappelen Damm Agency.
Hi, my name is Guldraiz Sharif, and I have written a novel called Listen Up. It's about 15-year-old Mahmoud Maroof, and he is sitting outside of his building and just hanging around with his one-eyed friend Arif from Somalia. And Mahmoud would have searched for a job, summer job, but since his name is Mahmoud Maroof, he thinks that it isn't easy to get job interview. In this summer vacation, he's gonna get a visit from his uncle, whom he called Uncle G from Pakistan, and this uncle asks a lot of fascinating questions about Norwegian culture and Norway and the city of Oslo, and Mahmoud tries to be the best Oslo guide he can be. If I would have told anything about Mahmoud, I would say that he's a boy with a golden heart, he's a good son, a great big brother, and he is the best best friend you can ever have, and he's the greatest Oslo guide you will ever meet. Yes, I want to read something from the book. It isn't out yet, so I have the script on my telephone. So I'm gonna read now. Summer holidays, right? Really nice for Norwegians, but I tell you, not so great for us foreigners with no money. I mean, what's there to do? They have their sea cabins, mountain cabins, ocean cabins, mainland cabins, coastal cabins, and those ones the teacher told us about. Yeah, archipelago cabins, man. Plus the Swedish cabin, you know, and the Nesodden cabin. Imagine that. They got cabins practically in Oslo. Not that all Norwegians come from Oslo, but when I heard that, I just about fell over. I mean, if you want an outside toilet, you just have to drive to the outskirts of Oslo. And then they stay there for weeks. Sit their white and pink bumps down on those scary black holes with a great pile of shit below. Those toilets, man, they scare the life out of me. Give me a heart attack. You want to know what I think? Well, bro, my dad didn't travel in a train and a container to Germany and Denmark, to Norway to have shit outdoors.
Last one out is Anne Elvedal with the book The Game of Death, represented by Northern Stories Agency.
Hello, I'm Anne Elvedal. I'm a scriptwriter and I previously worked as a psychiatry nurse. And this is my first book, The Game of Death. There's always something special with first experiences, and this book is inspired by my first experience with death. I grew up with vintage cars and motorbikes because this was my dad's huge passion. Sadly, this also ended his life. One day, one engine he tried to fix exploded, and he caught fire and died. This made me really wonder what happens after death, and this is one of the questions in this book, where the story belongs to Rebecca, a 16-year-old girl who lives in a small village by the fjord in central Norway. It's summer, and it has been unusually hot and dry for 3 months. Rebecca and her dad are planning to go on their annual motorbike tour, but suddenly her dad dies in a fire accident at his car repair shop, where he helps troubled teenagers. Rebecca is in shock, but soon after she finds a strange thing among the vintage cars, a spirit board, and when she tries it, she finds out it wasn't an accident, her father was murdered. No one believes her, except a boy who's visiting the village for the summer. Martin, who's also 16, is a mysterious type. He recently spent 2 years in a psychiatry hospital and knows a lot about death. Together they try to find out who killed Rebecca's dad, but strange things start happening, scary things. And suddenly they face a dangerous mystery which is so much bigger than they could imagine. The Game of Death is the first book in a trilogy which explores existential issues around death and love, loneliness, faith and belonging. Is it possible that our lives are woven together with past lives, allowing all curses to haunt us and giving love another chance? Thank you so much for watching, and I hope my book will get international readers. Thank you.
And now you'll meet Bård Stenvik, who will talk about his book 10 Incredible Inventions, illustrated by Rune Markhus and represented by Hagen Agency.
Everybody knows the light bulb was invented by Thomas Edison, right? Well, in our book, 10 Incredible Inventions, Rune Markhus and I tell the story of Louis Latimer. He was a young black man born by parents who fled from slavery in the southern states of the USA. And he made an improvement on an early version of the light bulb, along with many other inventors who worked on different light bulb prototypes for decades leading up to Edison's famous one. Because inventions are not usually the work of a lone genius, but rather the result of a collective effort. The scientists who invented the birth control pill were named Gregory Pincus and John Rock, but behind them stood Margaret Sanger and Catherine McCormick. They started the research, they funded it, and they convinced the public that women should be in control of their own bodies, just like men. The pill itself would go on to transform women's role in society. Innovation is not only about technology, but also about money, culture, and politics. James Hanger lost his leg in the American Civil War, and he invented a new kind of prosthetic leg that also became useful for many others. Today, modern technology has made it easier than ever to solve your own problems and share the solutions. Through online networks, people can help invent better prostheses for themselves, and they can even print prototypes in makerspaces in their own local libraries. Never before has it been easier to become an inventor than today. Our book tells stories about big inventions like the atomic bomb, about small inventions like the sewing needle, about what makes innovation possible, such as the scientific method, about old ideas like the printing press, and new ones like autotune, and how they all have changed how we behave and how we think and how we communicate.